1 week later, you find yourself on a trip to a strange planet, Mizurni 2, to battle a ragtag band of rebels led by the charismatic Woodsider Master Slaylock. Several years ago, a number of members of the United Vassals of the Empire rebelled. They opposed the UV Central Command's cruel treatment of its vassals and wished to acquire independence so they could personally treat their citizens with contempt and destruction. General Explosives Incorporated sponsored a subcommittee of Congress, which voted to declare war against the seceding planets. It was an easy choice, as the UVE government is decidedly orthoplastian in ideology, whereas the rebels are damnable ultraviarians. Ultraviarian. After everything that happened in the 2470s, you chuckle at the ignorance of people who are different from you. Standing, you look out the window at the brightness of space at supercosmic speed. Each star stretches out as a light stream across the dark. You marvel at how vast the universe is compared to a single human life. Killing people doesn't seem so bad after all. That's the end of Act 1. We have about 7 minutes left. Do you want to try to do another track real fast?
Yeah.
I can do another engineer track. You can go to the library.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do that. I think that was... go to 9. All right, so this is after you have your final exam, so you decide to go cram at the library. You had assumed the Cyberarea was a high-tech way to download information directly into your brain. Turns out it's a cute name for the kids section of a regular library. Just to be certain, you talk to the irritatingly ebullient, middle-aged lady in overalls and pigtails who works the front desk. With the kind of smile that usually accompanies a repressed urge to murder a third time, the fascinatingly perky attendant explains that you can indeed download information directly into your brain through your eyes, by reading. She tells you reading is an adventure. You flick her off, tell her face is an adventure. Nice one, you let her to yourself, sincerely. Then you notice something strange. All the children here seem to be popping ADHD medication like clockwork every 5 minutes. Not one of them, and not only are they constantly using drugs, it seems like their mothers aren't even watching them. If you seize the opportunity to beat one up and take these religious drugs, go to 15. If you suck it up, read your books, and take the damn test, go to 16. Your engineering background has prepared you well for the meeting. This larger head-to-body ratio results in a higher center of gravity, and adjust your kicking accordingly. Lost in your attempt to play Mary Had a Little Lamb by rhythmically stomping the sternums of 3 children of differing sizes, you fail to notice a group of angry mothers clustering about you. They confront you furiously. Those are their kids and their drugs. And first you aren't scared of a small band of pleasantly attired mommies. Then one pulls a Bed Bath & Beyond switchblade out of the baby other kid. Another uses her kid on a kid leash like a morning star. And a third mommy pulls out a pair of brass knuckles, which is inscribed with "My son is an honor student," also with spikes. If you survive, you go to 23. Like the 100-headed Hydra, it seems like every time you decapitate one mom, new 2 appear. But thanks to your skill in staggering lack of morality, you soon stand atop a small hill of heads, your victory hailed by a chorus of weeping children. And bonus, amidst the carnage, you find a stack of purses, each a cornucopia of semi-legal prescription drugs. If you decide to take the drugs, go to 34. If you wuss out of taking a pile of strange unlabeled pills, go to 35.
34.
Naturally. Sorry. 34. Since you don't know what each pill does, you decide to hedge your bets by taking all of them at once. Suddenly you realize you can taste color. Blue tastes like blood. So do red and yellow. At this point you realize your mouth is full of blood. You pass out and enter a state of disturbed dreaming. Strange flickers of color dance before and behind you. Oh, this is just a reveal of the Booleans thing, so I'm going to skip it. It's fortunate that you're unable to speak, because in your drugged stupor you attempt to say "whoa" 29 times during the speech. Gain psychic aspect, plus 3 bits. You wake up in a pool of your own fluids. This is unhygienic, even for the engineering department. -5 hit points, -2 charisma. You check your phone. The exam is in 3 minutes. You haven't studied much, but you've got grit. Oh, there's an asterisk for grit. Grit is the commercial name of the prescription. That's on the other track. I think we might have enough time to do, you want to do medic?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we've got to go fast, but I think we can do it. All right. Choose to be a medic, go to 3. You've always wanted to receive attention for digging through bodies. As you don't have the nerve to be a serial killer, you turn your attention to medicine. As all scientific medicine is now done by nanomachines and computers, there isn't a role for meat-based life forms like yourself. Just kidding, there's always a role. There's always a place for outdated science. You'll be learning what is now referred to as traditional science. The monastery specializes in two forms of traditional medicine, surgery and pediatrics. If you go to pediatrics go to 6, surgery 7. You become a surgeon, the frat boy of the medical universe. You arrive at the monastery's medical ward and are brought before a group of doctors. You instantly recognize them as surgeons by their smug swagger and the half-empty red plastic beer cups. The men and women here have their own version of work hard, play hard, which replaces work with drink. One particularly handsome man sidles up to you and asks you if you think you've got what it takes to surgerize dudes. He takes your don't hit me posture for a yes. He looks you over and smirks. Well, the Silene Medical Association may think you're ready to apprentice here, he says. We got a test of our own. Battle of wits. Keg of inexpensive grain alcohol. Do you want to win or lose? Win. Oh. You are sent to the surgical training room. On the outside, it's a black expanse of obsidian and bone, claiming the hard enigma of death in the eldritch worlds of darkness forming its structure. Inside also proclaims death and horror, but does so via white-walled waiting rooms, fake plants, and the reek of cleaning spray. You pass the next 7 years getting a 4-year degree. You spend most of your time memorizing the intricate Latin names of human anatomy and physiology. Your aging professors are convinced it will be useful later on when you're draining cysts and removing rectal blockages. The rest of your time is spent hacking on people. You have a secret betting pool in your circle of friends over who can use the largest, bluntest implement for the most routine medical act. A friend of yours wins when he drives his car full speed at a patient, grabs the handbrake, spins out at just the right speed and angle such that the car's bumper removes a blackhead from the patient's nose. Fortunately, the malpractice suit costs less than the betting pool wins. Silenes tend to be gifted in traditional medicines like surgery and radiation therapy, thanks to their precognitive powers. You lack this ability utterly. In fact, you once diagnosed a patient as having a logic-impairing stroke, only to later realize you were talking to a mirror, only to later realize the mirror was a rock. This makes it all more surprising when you're informed that the president is visiting, and that you of all people have been selected as the surgeon. Even more surprising is that the decision must have come from a powerful non-local authority, since the headmaster of the Silene Medical School wrote a long editorial title entitled "What the Fucking Fuck." You decide to visit the headmaster, but stop in your tracks as you run into a wall of rigid yet supple concrete. You look up to see a man, the man. This man is 7 feet tall, wearing a leather tuxedo and no shirt. His hair is long and blonde and extends down to just below his chin, which is so perfectly square it can be used for drafting. Who are you, you dribble? I'm the goddamn vice president. He looks over your wimpy form, then peers down the hallway. Fast as a ninja, he slips something into your pocket. Don't show this to anyone. Dark shit is afoot. Dan your autogram. Good luck with your surgery, son. With that, he shoves his way past you with his rough yet sculptured hands. I can't, you whimper, but he is gone. 19. You sigh and walk home in concern. You have one night to prepare to cut open the president's skull. It's just like that dream you had as a kid, only this time the head probably won't be full of candy. You check your anatomy book. Nope, no candy. This is gonna suck. Gotta find a way to make it suck less. If you spend the night at Silene Cathedral / Hotbox, go to 29. If you spend the night at the library, go to 30. 29. Gain +3 charisma for winging it. You go to the Silene Cathedral and immediately wish you decided to be a warrior monk instead of a doctor. Being a doctor, you wasted all of your time drinking. Monks waste all of their time smoking weed. They sit around the smoke-filled room, passing large water pipes and telling stories about other times when they sat around the smoke-filled room, passing around large water pipes. As you go for toke number 42, you accidentally drop and break your bra. Everyone laughs about how you must not have a good bullion ratio. And here's another introduction to that plot point. In a phrase that could stand in for almost every conversation in the monastery, you respond with, maybe it's just the weed talking, but whoa. You spend the night in a drug-induced stupor, followed by a drug-induced torpor, -3 minutes. You awaken, clean the spittle of Twinkie crumbs off your face, and leave the monastery. Time for surgery, you pronounce. Then you notice that your pants are on backward and upside down. Oh wait, they're still on the floor. Maybe this was a bad idea, but for you. You somberly walk to the headmaster's office. You're not ready for this. You're nothing. Time to call it all. As you open the door, you realize the room is full of people and holographic cameras. You've just walked into a live meeting between the headmaster of the Silent Monastery and President Weiner. The headmaster, who's not terribly in tune with the niceties of politics, calls your fat mother a whore. You're about to retort that, in fact, I know you are, but what am I, when the president stands and shakes your hand. As if all this were choreographed in advance, the president turns toward the camera and identifies you as the young genius surgeon who shows the promise of the future of the united vassals of the empire. You thank him, but note that you've never even seen a brain. In fact, this operation is the first time you're hearing about it, but it sure does make an awful lot of sense. Without hesitation, the president says that he admires your honesty, which shows the promise of the future of the united vassals of the empire. He says he'd rather have an honest small-town surgeon than some elite intellectual surgeon. He smiles for photographs. You walk out of the meeting in a daze. As you stumble toward the OR, this is another encounter with the vice president. So, the question is, he asks how you think he'll do in surgery. You say, great, go to 40B. You begin to say something with sputtering pride, go to 40C. 40C. He peers down the hallway in each direction and slips a pill into your pocket. He says it's a mind enhancer, single use. Add VP pill to your inventory. Use VP pill triples your wits for the current scene. VP nods and walks off, his curvaceous yet well-muscled buttocks swaying to and fro like the ocean breezes, catching the sail of a fine ship by moonlight on a summer's eve. You shake your head and snap out of him. By then he's already gone. You scrub up and head for the OR. 46. I got 2 minutes. You enter the OR and are surrounded by a crowd of nurses and reporters. You answer questions in between requests for surgical implements. The nurses have drawn a line across President Buchanan's forehead, at which you're supposed to make the incision. You know this as of 3 seconds ago because the head nurse was filled with horror when you asked what the squiggly red thing on his face was. You take the plasma scalpel, run it across his forehead. Ew, blood! Ew! Wait, did you think that or say it out loud? You must have said it out loud because everyone's staring at you. Or maybe it's because you just nicked the president's eyes because you weren't paying attention. Hey, focus. If you win, go to 49. You manage to open the cranium, largely thanks to the aid of a team of world-class nurses. At several moments during the process, you forcefully whisper, so, and drag out the O for as long as it takes to get a nurse to move your hand for you. But now things are more serious. You insert the brain analyzer into its frontal lobe, wipe the sweat from your brow, look up at the neurographic imager. The offending brain growth is located just under the hippocampus, and I think that's my time. Who knows what happens? We'll have to buy the book in July. Well, thank you guys.